Jack Reacher has deceased, retired Army.
Bronze Star, Silver Star, and a Purple Heart.
Zip ties?
Cuffs didn't fit him.
You guys recycle.
Given all the source material for the character of Jack Reacher, where did you personally find the one characteristic that made you comfortable with his persona?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of source material, of course. I had 24 books to read at the time. And the one characteristic that jumped out to me, a lot of times it's sort of between the lines, right? Reacher said nothing. Then there's a sort of an uncomfortable reaction from whoever he's with. And it was his comfort with the silence in a way that I think shows that he's kind of a wise ass. I think that smart ass, tongue in cheek, some laugh out loud moments were what connected me to the characters. Like that's actually, we're a lot more alike than I expected.
I love that
thank you.
pilot. And I also love the chemistry of the cast. I thought you guys were right there immediately, which is again unusual.
Yeah, we felt that too on set. That's a testament, not as much to me, but when the first 7 minutes, I think I have no dialogue, we've got to listen, and I depend on this. My teammates there to carry it, and they're full of fire. I mean, I've never connected so quickly with a cast.
It's so great. You, unlike a previous actor incarnation of Reacher, are the right size and atmosphere as the character in the novel. Since you live with that size for your life, and I'm 6'4" myself, how do you find it an advantage in creating Reacher?
Well, I mean, look, when you're a big guy and you walk in any situation comfortable, I mean, I've never been in a situation where I'm sort of like, I don't feel comfortable here, and I feel for anybody that has to think about those things because that's not something I've ever experienced. I mean, obviously, our build is, I'm just about a carbon copy of what's in the book. So that's how he feels too. So I can relate to that, and that's something I don't take for granted.
So the character of Reacher is eternally a stranger in a strange land. What do you think is the best survival instinct when put in situations like that? And how do you apply that to the Reacher character?
For the wanderers out there, which I am one, I get bored easily. I think a big part of why I'm an actor is because it was an opportunity to travel, and to experience new cultures and new situations. On the one hand, I'll just say, the more I travel, the more I realize we as human beings really generally all want the same thing. We all want love. We all want connection. I think that's in all of us, so the more I travel, the more comfortable I get with the world. But there's also a need for awareness. You're always aware of what's behind you. You're always aware of your exit points. There's just a general sense of safety, when you're in a new environment. And I think that instinct is something that Reacher obviously does better than anybody. And it's something I'm sort of used to doing because I travel so much. So for sure, the awareness.
So Reacher has interesting powers of deduction. Do you think his intellect is stronger than his muscle? And since you're a multidisciplined practitioner in the arts yourself, how do you relate to that balance?
Look, the biggest part of this search, which, Skydance and Amazon had their pick of really anybody. I mean, I think every male actor that's sort of fitting for this role would have been happy to play Reacher. This is an iconic role. I'm grateful to be a part of this, but the challenge was finding somebody who's both brutishly large and highly intelligent. And I'm not saying anything about myself, but they felt that I fit that character. These two qualities are characters in and of themselves, and they stand on equal footing. This is somebody who can rely on both his intellect and wit as much as his physical prowess, and it's a tie.
Very good. You're a veteran of many ensemble type shows. What is the key to getting good chemistry in a short time and making it work as you go along, especially using Reacher as a prime example, no pun intended?
Right. Yeah, right. My past, my career, if it's taught me anything, it's that there's no room for ego when you're trying to make an excellent product. The more collaborative we are, the more humble we are, the more we're willing to stay in our lane and listen and just just participate in what the team sees as the best idea. The better the product is, and this was hands down the most humbling and collaborative project I've ever been a part of. 200 million books sold. I mean, everybody's got an idea of who Reacher is, but the people that have been shepherding this, Don Granger from Skydance, Dana Goldberg from Skydance, Bill Boss, all the amazing execs at Amazon, Jen Psaki, Nick Santora, the showrunner. I mean, we've got some of the most brilliant minds on the planet as far as these creative pursuits are, and they all know exactly who Reacher is to them. We had a lot of conversations, and we would play a lot. Hey, can you do this? Now, can you try it funny? Now, can you try the most stoic, dark thing? I think if my career has not taught me to be available to that, I think we would have ended up in a very different place. But this was a collaborative effort. Same thing with the cast. I think remaining open to everything that everybody had to say made this an instantly gratifying experience.
A Star is Born. You've dabbled in the superhero genre. What amazes you about the feel of those type of stories, given that usually you're in a strange costume doing strange things?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the last superhero I played was a superhero with no superpowers, but still wore the costume. So it was frustrating because I'd spend 3 hours getting into that thing, and then, I'd be drunk and beat up by the end of it, So playing like an alcoholic vigilante was a little different than this. But, the thing about those shows is there's kind of this invincibility, to the stories as a whole. To me, it lowers the stakes to feel like I don't know if anything really bad can happen. Some shows have started to do that and do that well. One of the things I love about Reacher is as smart as he is, as capable as he is, sometimes on his pursuit of justice and putting the puzzle together, he doesn't get it right. He's fallible, right, and he suffers the consequence of that. So yes, there are sort of superhero-esque qualities to what he's able to survive or endure, but he's fallible. And I think that's what makes this really fun, because there are going to be times where he gets it wrong.
So finally, if you were to write a song about Jack Reacher, what type of genre would best suit him, such as hip-hop, ballad, mellow rock, country, etc., and why?
I think Reacher is through and through a blues guy. I think with somebody that moves, their mind moves as quickly as his does, and his life changes as quickly as his does. There's a lot of solace in the blues and its pace, and the fact that you could just get lost in the nostalgia of that. So he's a blues guy through and through.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2022.